The Royal Enfield Flying Flea C6 is finally here, and we've been given a brief insight into what sort of technology is baked into this motorcycle. Now, before we get further into the video, I must remind you that this is a prototype version and the features that are offered on the final production version could differ. Now, let's get into it. Everything is shown to the rider via a round 3.5-inch touchscreen TFT display that also has an Android chip baked into it. And Royal Enfield also tells us that just like most other EVs, the Flying Flea C6 will also receive OTA updates as and when they come out. And just to touch back on that Android point once again, the Qualcomm chip inside this motorcycle is so important, and it's part of the motorcycle's core operating system that if you remove it, you can't start or ride the motorcycle. As you walk up to the motorcycle, the Flying Flea C6 will automatically recognize you, and you don't have a physical key at all on this motorcycle. You unlock or lock the phone via the proprietary app or this button on the tank. Talking a little bit about the speedometer, it doesn't have a traditional ref counter or speedometer as such. In fact, Royal Enfield has given it two separate sort of verticals, one for power, one for torque. And while no technical specifications about the C6 have been disclosed yet, Royal Enfield tells us that it will come with dual channel ABS and traction control, both of which will be lean sensitive. Royal Enfield also tells us that there will be 5 riding modes on offer: Performance, Eco, Off-road, Rain and Custom. Custom mode allows you to adjust a whole bunch of things like the ABS settings, your power mode, your traction control, regenerative braking, so on and so forth. Speaking of the ride modes, I'd like to touch upon Eco for just a second. Where on other motorcycles or scooters, Eco actually tempers down the top speed and the power delivery, Royal Enfield tells us that the Flying Flea C6 will do no such thing. Eco mode will give you almost full power, and in fact, it will just give you a suggestion on the dash of what is the most economical rev or torque band to stay in. There are also some functions of the Flying Flea C6 that I'll just run through in no particular order. The maps can be screencasted onto the display, and in fact there's also a proprietary map system built in. You can choose to use whatever system you want. The map will show you real-time ATA and battery SOC as you reach the destination. The Flying Flea C6 can also be paired to your Bluetooth headset. Another very interesting and unique direction that Royal Enfield has gone in with the Flying Flea C6 is in how you charge it. Now you see there are 3 charging modes for the C6: Standard, Trickle and Rapid. Depending on your usage, how fast you need the charge, how slow you need it, say you're plugging it overnight or you need to make a quick 10-kilometer getaway or something, you can select the sort of charge mode that you want, and the C6 will also, and you can also determine what percentage you want the C6 to top up to. Now that was just about all that is on the technical side of things of the Flying Flea C6. We're also going to be given a design presentation after this. Royal Enfield tells us that the Flying Flea brand is built on 2 tenets: cutting-edge technology and heritage-inspired design. Now we've already waxed a lot of lyrical on the technology bit, so we'll focus on the design bit for now. This is a slightly different C6 to the one you've seen previously, and I think it fits in better to the design part of things. As you can see, there's a nice long line coming in from the chassis. In fact, the bike's chassis is on the outside. Most internal combustion engine bikes or even production spec electric bikes like the Ultravalor, they have the chassis on the outside of the motorcycle. And a lot of the chassis is made out of aluminium. For example, this frame is made out of forged aluminium, and the nice unique girder front fork you see, that's cast aluminium, so is the swing arm. And the mudguard is mounted to the swing arm, unlike the chassis like on most bikes. Another unique thing on the Flying Flea is that the foot pegs can be flipped. So this essentially goes over here like we saw on that bike, or you can also flip it around like this. So you've got either a more relaxed rider triangle or with your feet under you. That's about all we have for you for this Flying Flea C6 today. There's also another model called the S6, which is more of a scrambler, different front suspension, spoked wheels, little bit better performance. But all of that is in the future. There's still a lot more that Flying Flea and C6 still have to tell us. Let us know in the comments what you think about Royal Enfield's foray into electric mobility.